Welcome to Skincare for Your 20s. I remember it like it was yesterday. Well, in truth, it was only 6 or 7 years ago for me. Okay, maybe not really, but I will say that no matter how much of me would never go back to my 20s, although it was a very nice time of my life, there is some aspects of what I would do differently if I had my time again, and caring for my skin in a different way would have been one of those things. Let me explain. So we get into our 20s and we've survived our adolescent era, probably the worst of our problem skin time, teenage acne. We feel quite infallible. The prospect of aging is not even in our thought process. In our 20s, we have changing skincare concerns. We probably have jobs now that are in air-conditioned or heated environments, which leads to dehydration. We've upgraded our social skills that include alcohol and going out for dinner with friends, and that leads to an introduction of different kinds of free radicals into our skin. We have the potential for some of us to have young babies and families, which leads to neglecting our own skin through lack of time. We have lack of sleep, and we've had perhaps 10 years of sunning ourselves mercilessly without SPF during our teenage years. So we have now the first signs of sun damage, but we mightn't even be able to see it. And we have the entry point of adulthood, which new jobs, new relationships, all of that leads to stress, which of course we know leads to more free radical damage. So as much as a 20-year-old can't think that far in advance as to what all of those things are going to do for your skin when you hit your mid to late 30s and beyond, all we need to do is remember 3 major things that we can really focus on to prevent the effects of all of those aspects in relation to the aging of our skin. Number 1 we need to focus on is the prevention of premature lines and wrinkles through photo-aging. And as I said before, this has probably really been ramped up through our teenage exposure to UVA and UVB rays, and not only in the past but our current exposure now to these rays through everyday exposure to natural light. Number 2 is to control breakouts of adult acne and blackheads through the treatment of blocked pores, and of course that's done through our beloved exfoliation. And the third thing we need to focus on in our 20s is to boost our skin's natural rejuvenation processes in the rebuilding of collagen and elastin, as these processes are going to come down on them like a ton of bricks in their mid to late 30s. So we need to condition the skin's rebuilding processes so they're up and running by the time we really need it. So, if these are the big issues, what do we really need to focus on in relation to skincare in our 20s? I'm very glad you asked. So, first of all, to combat the photo-aging, that is easy. Skincare involves the basic cleanse, tone, moisturize for all the reasons that we've outlined in other gold mails, and we all know that as part of any good, essential daily skincare routine, SPF is absolutely essential, an essential part of this daily process. Now remember, we can put all the moisturizer in the world on any face in the world, but unless we prevent the damage from occurring in the first place by protecting the free radicals caused by sunlight exposure. Now notice I didn't say just sun exposure, because I don't want anyone to get confused with, well, I don't sunbake anymore now I'm in my 20s, so I don't really need SPF every day unless I'm going outside. You know the rules. If you can see your hand in front of your face, there is enough natural UVA rays to cause damage. And we know that 90% of the physical signs of aging, being wrinkles, lines, pigmentation and dehydration, come from daily sunlight. So what we need to do, SPF every single day. So that's number 1. first and foremost for your 20s. Number 2, your exfoliation routine is essential to keep your skin's pores gloriously clean and clear to minimize the cornflake blockages that contribute to enlarged pores, blackheads, whiteheads, and pimples. It also helps to control all that excess dead skin cell accumulation that can make your skin appear dull and lifeless in your 20s, as well, of course, of harboring the excess pigment that's developed by the melanocytes that react to the sun. And then lastly, we need to, in our 20s, ramp up our peptide and antioxidant application. So the collagen and elastin that is going to really deplete in your 30s, what we need to do is have the rebuilding cells already online and producing effectively the new and additional replacement collagen that is needed to reverse that line and wrinkle damage when it does happen. Now remember, all peptide products rev up the fibroblasts, and this is where the collagen is made, sort of like the collagen factories in your skin. So that's why we need to make sure that those little factories are online and working beautifully. Otherwise, if you only try to ramp it up really when you need it, it's like trying to push start a car from a standing still position. It takes so much effort to finally get it going. If we were already in a rolling start, it's so much easier. So there you have it, skincare for your 20s. We know basic, cleanse, tone, moisturize, but bringing in those other 3 being SPF, exfoliation, and of course antioxidants is what we really need to focus on. So until next time, we'll be talking about essential skincare in your 30s, but if you follow these easy guidelines for both you and your beautiful clients, you'll be well on your way to a lifetime of beautiful skin. Well, until the 30s, this is KJ signing off until next time. Thank you so much for listening. Bye.